Thank you. Good evening. Welcome to the May 6, 2026 meeting of the Conservation Commission. The Conservation Commission will hold a meeting under Chapter 131, Section 40 of the General Laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, the Town of Wareham Wetlands Protection Bylaw, Division 6, and any other applicable laws. All hearings of the Wareham Conservation Commission are held simultaneously under the authorities of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act and the Town of Wareham Wetlands Protection Bylaw, Division 6. Although a single decision of the Commission is issued, it represents a separate decision. Under each authority, all matters listed may involve a decision and a possible vote. And, okay, roll call, please. Jessica.
Jessica Parr.
Scott Sobey.
Paula Jean O'Neill.
Sandy Slavin.
Michael Mercier.
Kwame Barty.
We have a quorum. I declare the meeting is open. We have continuance. 6 Spindrift asks for a continuance. 17 Atlantic Ave, a continuance. 16 Widows Cove, a continuance. And another one on 16 Widows Cove, a continuance. If you're here for that, there'll be no discussion on those items. Pinehurst Beach has asked for a discussion regarding the jetty. Is there somebody here that wants to talk to that? Please come up. And identify yourself.
My name is Kim Scheib. I live in Pinehurst, and I am the acting president of PBIA, and now kind of the leader of trying to get all of this straightened out. So thank you for letting me come. I'm here today just because you're all familiar with the Pinehurst Beach jetty and the issues with our stamp not being valid. We found that out in the June of 2025. I immediately self-reported to Christine, and we have been working with, in the process of working with JC Engineering to get our prior plans certified and evaluated. We had found that the original jetty had been placed partially on an abutter's property. It's approximately, give or take a few feet, I think it's about 115 square feet of the jetty that is on an abutter's property. It happens to be the proximal 115 square feet, so the square that is the entire square up against the land. The abutter and I and some of the board members have been working very cooperatively throughout the whole winter to try and come up with the decision of whether or not we could obtain an easement, and despite that, we have not been successful in obtaining an easement. So in my mind, there are only 2 options at this point: either remove it completely or move it. The reason I'm here today is just to say that we're a nonprofit. We don't have a ton of money, and I'm just trying to get an idea if there's no chance that we will be approved to actually move the jetty, and it would have to be probably at least 15 feet closer to the Pinehurst clubhouse. And there is a water pipe there that we have to consider. If that is too close to the water pipe, it may be even farther because we'd have to go on the other side. If there's absolutely no chance of us being able to move the jetty, I would just like to know that ahead of time, because I don't want to go forward with spending money on the engineer, the permitting process, and all of that, because we just don't have it. If there's no regulation that says that we can't move it, I will be happy to raise the money and move forward with trying to fix this problem. But I just wanted to see if there was any guidance from the committee as to whether that was even a possibility.
Now, if you move it further up the river, isn't that town property?
Not on the other side. That's why I said if you moved it, if we could, there's 15 feet, that's on this side of the water line. There, on our JC Engineering thing, it looks like town property does extend past the berm for I don't know how many feet. The other option is to move it all the way over to in front of our wall, which is not town property, and on the other side of the pipe. But again,
the other side of the riprap.
Yes, but it'd have to go a little farther than that, because I think, based on the plans that we have from JC Engineering, it would have to be definitely on the other side of the riprap, and probably a little further within our wall. And that is probably, I don't know, another 20 feet, maybe. And of course, the ask is that, it is retaining the sand in front of the beach, in front of the clubhouse, supporting that wall, et cetera. But that's why I'm here.
Christine, any comments for it?
With her about it, and it's not going to be on top of the pipe, but that's kind of really the only option that they have is to move it.
Move it or remove it?
Move it or remove it, yeah.
Are there any plans anywhere, or any, you said there was a stamp issue, or there are plans filed with the town?
Subsequent to that?
Or even, was the plan good, just the stamp was bad, or?
Well, we had JC Engineering, that's why originally, when we spoke to Christine, I said, what do we do? The stamp is not his. And she said, well, why don't you have to get a licensed engineer and land surveyor licensed engineer to look at the plans and certify them. And that's how we hired JC Engineering. So JC Engineering did do that, and they thought that the structure was sound, but they found that it was on somebody else's property. The reason that this didn't happen in the first place is there was not a survey done. It was based on, initially, and I wasn't around for that, so I can't tell you, why that didn't happen, but there was not a survey. Mm-hmm. And so when they did the survey, after this whole thing happened, this is what we found. It appeared that the prior plans were based on town records and plot plans and not an actual survey.
Now, there is an outstanding order of conditions, right, Christine?
Yeah, so if you all are amenable to them moving it, you could amend the open order of conditions that you have right now, and just come back before the board. But
Is the proposed site for moving it in a potential shellfish habitat?
I don't know the answer to that question.
that, let me double check. I think it might be, because I think I think when this was originally permitted, that discussion might have showed up.
Well, when we permitted it, it was on top of one that already existed, just to make it taller, higher, right?
Well, the one that existed was completely demolished.
I know, but
yeah.
the foundation was there,
Some of it,
which
yeah.
is why I believe we allowed it to be built, because there was one there.
Right.
It just sort of fell apart and needed to be built up again. And I understand it wasn't built up enough.
So the entire area, it looks like it's all shellfish, extending out into it. So there may be shellfish that are going to be down in that.
And this may sound like a silly question. The rest of the commission is used to me asking silly
No,
questions.
please, I'm welcome.
So you've asked for an easement, but have you offered to purchase that 150 square feet rather than an easement?
I did not, we haven't discussed that at all.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a way to partition I don't know. That's not my area. But I just wondered if that's an alternative that has been explored. And the third question I had was this water pipe.
Yes.
Is that a stormwater drain pipe?
It's a sleeved water pipe that that goes over to Hamlin Beach.
Oh, so it's a water supply.
Yes, I believe it's a water supply, right, Christine?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the pipe, the access pipe to that fresh water supply is directly behind the end of our seawall, of Pinehurst Beach seawall, which is, kind of
I
far
guess
from
I
it.
have one more third question.
Sure.
Has there been any attempt, I don't know if this is a hydrologic study or whatever, to determine what would happen to the sand area, beach area, if that jetty were removed completely?
Well, that's what happened when Madam Chairwoman said that the old jetty was still there. It was virtually not. It was scattered rocks. I mean, they were there in the area, but completely blown apart. And that was why the proposal to replace the jetty was brought forward, because the sand in front of the seawall at our on our property, the association's property, was washing away significantly and down to the footings of the wall. And so, yes, there was a reason for having it.
Here's my third question.
Third, okay.
Is it possible to remove the part of the jetty that's on the abutter's property and leave what sticks out into the water?
I don't think that, no, I addressed that with the engineer prior to the meeting, and that would make a kind of like a river behind the jetty on the land side, and I think it would just worsen the erosion, and that's what he got to.
thank
So,
you.
and angling it wouldn't work either, I don't think. He said angling it would be difficult because it would extend quite a bit, and
Well, angling it would be the same thing essentially as moving it.
yeah.
Anything, Paula Jean?
Well, I'm just thinking, we're thinking of all these options, and it's like, whoops, that one won't work. I like trying to purchase that piece of property the proximal stone, that part is on. And if that hasn't been explored yet, I'm thinking that may be less of an expenditure than moving the whole thing.
Perhaps, but
I mean,
I think it
sometimes
would.
money talks.
I could explore that, but I think that as a nonprofit, we really don't have, the only asset is our property. I suppose we could mortgage it or something. I'm not a
Depends on-
trustee, so, but,
If it were less expensive than moving the whole thing.
yeah.
I'm just
yeah,
weighing out
yes,
those two
we
possibilities.
Certainly can look into that.
It's unfortunate that none of these ideas will work, and there are good reasons why they won't work. So you've already gone through this list, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I appreciate any ideas that anybody could come
Yeah.
up with, because, it's a difficult situation.
I think no other questions right now. Thank you.
Michael, any questions?
Pick up on Scott's topic about the sand. How would the sand be replenished if it was removed in that area?
Well, part of the application that we had already submitted was to have sand nourishment, but we can't move forward with that because it's part of the Chapter 91 licensure, and we can't submit the Chapter 91 licensure without either an easement or permission from the person that we've trespassed upon.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear you with that.
So you can only, the only way is because there's an easement issue, we either have to have a completed easement, or we have to have permission from the abutters to submit the Chapter 91 license, and we have neither of those.
They trespassed on her property.
All right.
I'm sorry.
No, that jetty had been there a long time. So there was nothing new, just it was more, should I say, visibility to it? Okay. Sorry,
Is
Jessica.
there either an address or a record number for what's already been filed or worked on previously?
So the closest address to find the jetty would be 110 Pinehurst Drive.
Kwame, anything?
I actually have a picture. Do you want the plan? I just have the current
I'd
one
love to
from
see the
JC
plan, yeah.
Engineering in case I didn't know if you guys would have it already. But this is the current, our most recent from JC Engineering.
Okay.
And this is the part that is on the abutter's property.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, no, real quick, is the proposed area that you're looking at is right next to that water pipe?
Is next to it, yes.
Right, and if that's the case, then there's really no other area that could be like less expensive.
What do you mean? I
If
don't think
you-
the physical act of moving the jetty, I don't think is going to be terribly expensive. Actually, the picking up of the rocks and moving them to the other thing, I think that's going to be fairly affordable. The expense is going to be having a new plan drawn up, going through the Chapter 91 licensing and
Or
you know, all-
purchasing
all the
a
permitting.
piece of property that you need to.
right.
Okay, no, I just tried to understand because that water pipe's probably been there for a very long time. Probably doesn't want to get disturbed any more than it needs to be, but, I mean, if that's the only way and only area, then I think that should be explored.
Yep. And the only complication is, again, with the JC Engineering plans that I gave to you, and you're passing around, as you can see in front of the berm, based on his survey, the town property does extend into the water there a few feet. So if we were to move it, the closest we could move it would be to move it approximately 12 or 15 feet closer to the clubhouse, but then it would be, I believe, on town property, and then I don't know if it's in the water, but it's still town property, so I don't even know if that's a possibility.
And the only reason it's town property, because it's a paper street.
Correct. And then, we talked a little with the engineer, and he said, sometimes if there's a possibility that, because that would also kind of hold up all that rock in the street where all the drainage comes down, sometimes there's a possibility that you could get the town to co-sign the permitting for that, to allow us to do it. So I don't really know. I haven't gotten that far down the road. I really just wanted to come and say, this is what I have to deal with, and the association has to deal with. The board's been looking for solutions, and I just don't want to spend the money of the association if this is like an absolute, we cannot do this.
Now, there is a stormwater drain on the other side of the clubhouse, correct? That I thought had been in bad shape. Upriver from the clubhouse, there's a stormwater drain. And wasn't there some issue of moving sand around without permission?
Yes, there was an infraction that sand, the day of the, again, this is from what I hear. I wasn't there, so I can't
Yep.
say. But my understanding is that the day of the construction of the jetty, there was some discussion with people that were at the beach from various committees and, regulatory committees, and someone allowed.
A machine to come along and move the sand?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was not there. I'm sorry, I don't have
Well,
those
that's just-
details, but I think that came before the
Just
committee
trying
last year.
to understand, not everybody was here
Yeah.
during some of those discussions that went along to permitting
Yeah.
the jetty to be improved.
Yes. And we have been unable, part of that corrective action was that we were to put more sand on the beach, but that got placed with the Chapter 91 license and has been held up because I haven't been able to submit that for the reasons I spoke of.
If the jetty is moved, Scott's right, it will go into habitat of shellfish habitat.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a way of relocating the shellfish. I don't know, I'm new at this, what do I know? But
I'm new
there's
at this
also
too.
the annelids and the copepods and all those other, sea creatures, but.
I think we actually have had, during a reconstruction of a prior existing pier, I think it was, we had any shellfish that
They
were seen to
sucked
be
'em out.
relocated.
They sucked them out.
Yeah, they were relocated. I do remember that was one of the conditions for one of the reconstructed piers. So it could
And they
be.
found all of two.
Yeah, it was like 2 of them. There weren't many.
Well,
Suppose you can't do that with volunteers, huh?
one of the questions we have is, I know we don't have the firm plans here. We have the concept of what's being asked for. Do we want them to proceed with the cost of engineering? Only to say yea or nay at the end? Hard to say.
Okay.
I'm not, you heard us, you heard the questions.
Yeah,
Is
absolutely.
there any hint about what the state might say about,
I actually, I'm sorry.
yeah, go ahead, yeah.
I spoke to our contact at Department of Environmental Protection today, and he said that if the Conservation Committee permitted this, that provided that the plans, he couldn't say either, but he said, provided that there was nothing off with the, the engineering plans or the process or anything else that we did through you, that he couldn't think of, there wasn't a moratorium on this, that there's, that they wouldn't just say, no, you can't put a jetty there. He said it just depended on if it got approved through
So
the town.
if we said yes, they could say yes.
Yes.
Got that in
Well, they
front?
would license it. That's
what it-
based on if the structure was sound and et cetera, et cetera.
Now, to build a brand-new jetty from start, how much sand has to be removed in order to place the stone? Or do you just put the stone on top of the sand?
My understanding is it goes on top of the sand. And that it would be picking up the rocks from here and putting them over there.
All the rocks?
Yes. all of them. Well, yes.
Because they had to be a substantial size so they wouldn't get washed away.
Yes. I believe I have something in here, but I believe they were
It was
between
something-
2 and 500 pounds.
That was part of the order of conditions when we permitted the jetty.
Yeah, I do have the exact thing if you need it. I have
I
a
know.
letter.
Is the abutter requiring you to take an action? Or is it,
Well, I would say yes, because there's concern about liability.
okay,
There were, 3 conditions we were trying to meet, and we couldn't meet them, not because we weren't trying, or we couldn't, but because it was something out of our control. But I think the big concern is liability, so the answer is yes.
So if this jetty were moved, we would be taking some potential shellfish habitat away, but we'd also be restoring some potential shellfish habitat where the jetty currently is.
Yes.
Do I read that correctly?
Yeah.
So I think maybe there's a conversation with your engineer about removing the shellfish, sucking or feeling with your feet or whatever, and then, I don't know how you would temporarily store them, but move them back, so that you're basically doing a restoration project behind where the jetty is moved. I think that's a conversation, and I'd like to have a clearer understanding of how deep the rocks need to go,
Yeah.
instead of just dropping them on the sand. That
They are
doesn't s-
literally just put on the sand. There's sometimes a layman thing, but they talked last time, remember, there was a discussion about whether they were going to dig a trough and put little rocks in, and the answer was no, and the answer ultimately was to put them on the sand. But yes, we can have a further conversation with the engineers at JC Engineering about that.
We were putting big rocks on top of the rocks that were there.
Right, so the foundation was actually there already.
The stones were there because the
Some.
jetty existed, or you
Some.
wouldn't have been able to replenish it.
Yeah, there were some stones, yeah, there were. But the question was crushing up more and digging a trough and putting more down there, and we didn't do that.
Well, I'd like to have some clarification about where a new location would, what that would entail.
Okay.
And the question is, the idea of the jetty is to keep the sand upriver from being washed away.
Correct.
So if we move the jetty closer to the clubhouse, all the sand from where this proposed jetty would be down to the river, the Wareham River, would be eventually scoured away.
Going closer to the ocean or closer to the river?
No, Wareham River, closer to the end of of Hamilton, that way, downriver. What's the name of the river that goes by your place? Who?
Broadmarsh.
Okay, on the other side of Broad Marsh, toward Wareham River, where the buoys are and where the dredging is going to take place, that area would be scoured if if the jetty is put up close to the clubhouse. Correct? More than likely.
Perhaps I'd
Why
have
the
to,
jetty's there is to prevent it from scouring up in the area up to the clubhouse, to keep it as sandy as possible. Well, I'm going to say, I grew up in Wareham, and that was the only place to go swimming at low tide, when there was a dock in the middle of the river. So I've spent hours and hours at that place, so sorry. Just a personal note. What do you think, folks?
I think that you need to have that conversation, and whether someone from JC comes with you next time to explain exactly what would be done for excavation, how much rock, whether the potential shellfish can be relocated. Those are the kinds of things I'd like to hear about.
Without going into a JC engineer coming up with a new engineering plan.
That's right.
Just give us, we'd like to speak to somebody who could address some of these concerns we have.
sure. So the shellfish relocation and whether this would be just putting rocks on the thing or there being
How it will be
excavation.
constructed.
Yes.
Okay?
Sure. Any other issues that you'd want me to follow up on besides those two? Or if you come up with them and let Christine know?
Anything else? I think we just have questions.
No, yeah, that's pretty much it. This is the only other issue that I could think of would be about that drain, but if it's far enough away from it, then it's not going to be a problem.
Okay. I honestly don't, I'm not aware of where that drain is, but I will find that out. I'm sure it's on plan somewhere, and.
JC&G must be able to locate it.
And I
Yep.
did speak to someone at the water department, and they said that they would be happy to come out anytime.
And mark
even-
it?
And just mark the pipe so that you can, I can take photographs, or our engineer can take photographs and forward them to Christine. I can send those to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do ask them to do that.
Yes, I just have to fill out a form, and they said they'd do it for us.
And I guess I would suggest to really pursue that easement question as the best and sort of fastest and, least disruptive potential pathway forward, and understanding that you can contract around some of those risk and liability issues.
And in what way? Through
Well,
the
through an
easement?
easement and, through proper documentation.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Kim.
it.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, you want your
Yeah.
plans, Kim?
You want your plans?
Will it help for you to have them? I have copies.
No,
Indemnification.
Thank you.
thank you. All right. Now, public hearings. Please, Michael.
All right. Pursuant to the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, General Laws 131, Section 40, and the Wareham Wetland Protective Bylaw, Division 6, a public hearing will be held in Room 520, Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass., on Wednesday, May 6, 2026, at 6 p.m. On the request for determination of applicability for John and Susan McCaffrey, 45 Oak Street, Wareham, Massachusetts, 02751. And so. this
That's
is
not
his-
It's not the one, is it?
That's not our zip code, is it?
Oh, 02571 then.
Yeah. That's it.
We have 02571.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's 02751 on the document. Never mind, it's a
Okay.
transfer.
yeah, it must have been.
Okay.
Anyway, repair stone wall by hand, no machinery used. Map 39, Lot T35, 45 Oak Street, in Wareham, Mass. And notice to open hearing, please.
I have that motion.
Second.
I have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. The hearing is open. And who's here to represent this project? Come forward, please. And identify yourself.
John McCaffrey.
And John, tell us what you would like to do here, other than repair a stone wall by hand. Give us a little bit more detail.
Okay, I submitted some photographs, I don't know if you had them, but in the year 2015, we had a stone wall that was preventing the tidal washing out of an area we have in our yard, in our front yard. And that stone wall has been, over the last 10 years, been destroyed by the wave action, I assume. And it took with it all the sand. And I just want to rebuild that, put that stone wall back exactly the way it was. So hopefully I will stop the loss of the sand, the property in front of us.
And that stone wall was just stone piled on top of stone, no cement or anything like that. It was just,
No, I believe it was held together with cement.
okay.
It looked like a dry wall from the front, but when I exposed it back, yes, it was a little cement used to hold the rocks together.
But no, there was no hard foundation.
No,
Okay.
no.
Questions? I'm going to start with Kwame.
I'm sorry, was there like some kind of engineering plan, or you're just hiring a contractor to do this type of work? I didn't see that on there, did you?
It's an RDA, so
Oh, it is
didn't have,
RDA,
it's very
didn't have to have an
short plan.
engineered plan.
Okay, I got you. So, in that case, no questions for me right now. Thank you.
Michael?
Yeah, kind of following up what Kwame kind of asked here. Is all the work going to be done, you said by hand, correct?
Correct.
And so is the work, I guess, going to be done in the yard, or going to be done on the beach? Or where's it going to exactly be
In
done?
the yard.
In the yard?
100% in the yard.
In the yard? Okay, that's all I had. Thank you.
Paula Jean?
I didn't see any pictures here with the plans, but I did go there and look at it. And my understanding is that two pieces of the stone wall, which are perpendicular to the shoreline going out, you want to repair, but that you also wanted to put in one that ran parallel with the shoreline, right, to box it in? Is that correct?
Right.
And how far out from the, like, the rack line or the high tide line? Where, how far
There is
to it? Does
there
it
is a stone wall there already,
parallel with the shore?
parallel with.
I mean further out towards
Would
the
you like
water.
would you like a picture? I took
Sure,
a-
sure, thanks.
Well, here's Sue Copio, sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you
Okay,
much.
the first picture is what the stone wall actually looked like in 2015.
Okay, I see, it was
See,
in close.
Right,
Yeah,
and the last picture is what it looks like today.
okay.
Now, in the meantime, I just want to, I spoke with Josh Faraday 2 years ago. And the rocks were really jagged, and I was having my grandkids over, and he told me that, and gave me a temporary permit to take those rocks, and that's the pile of rocks you see on the right. So the rocks are on the site, they're just in the wrong place.
I see. Thank you.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, thank you.
Scott?
First of all, Mr. McCaffrey and Mrs. McCaffrey, thank you for doing this the right way. A project like that, sometimes people look this way and that way, and they do it anyway. So we always appreciate when people come in and do the, and,
Thank
like I
you.
said, do it the right way.
I have to live there.
Yeah, and it seems like a small project to me, and one that should have been done
Yeah,
already.
well,
So
unless he
I
wants
have
it.
no questions about this.
Gonna give him-
Okay, thank you.
It's actually a project that I wouldn't mind doing myself, but
We're probably going to wrap it up.
Are you
tonight, right?
volunteering?
no, I'm not, actually.
Well, keep in mind that I am a walker of this beach, so there wouldn't have been much being done without me noticing. Okay, Jessica?
No questions.
I have none. Now, your intention is to replenish the sand behind the wall, between the wall and the upland. And
Yes,
that will be also by hand,
correct.
bucket at a time, 5-gallon bucket at a time. Is there anybody here who would comment on this project? Anybody online that would like to comment on this project? Christine, your comments, please.
I don't have any comments.
Okay?
Make a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
Thank you, and I have a motion and a second. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
I oppose to saying the hearing is closed. Christine, your recommendation?
And -2, -6.
6, 2, and 6. Negative is a good thing, so don't get nervous at the word negative. Okay, someone wants to make that motion
Move to approve,
Second.
with a -2 and a negative.
-2 and -6.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstains, you have it. Don't do any work until you get your paperwork from Christine, okay?
Okay.
But you got the project.
Would you like these copies back?
Yeah, sure, if you don't need them. Is that roughly the week you're talking about?
Yep.
I think Kwame gave it to him already.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you, Jessica. Next one, please.
Okay. On the request for determination of applicability for Dennis Flynn, 12 Blissful Lane, Wareham, Mass. 02538. The single-family house is located at 12 Blissful Lane, Lot 88. The project is a shed to be used for storage of garden equipment and supplies located on the front lawn at 10 Blissful Lane, Lot 87, at a distance of 64 feet from Glen Charlie Ponds and approximately 30 feet uphill from the ponds. There will be no electricity or plumbing. Map 119, Lot 87, 10 Blissful Lane, Wareham, Mass. And notice to open hearing,
Have
please.
that motion?
Second.
And a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, the hearing is open. And who's here representing the project?
I'm Dennis Flynn, the owner.
Anything else to add to this? Of course, I'm going to ask you, when was it first put there?
About 3 years ago. I had gone on the town website, and being a novice, it's the first house I've ever owned. It said no building permit required. It did not specify, but you need to do this, 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 and that, which has taken me 3 years now to deal with this, this, and that. So, yeah, about 3 years ago, I started. It's not finished. It's not completed. It's a shell. It's a detriment to the community right now. It looks like a ghetto area with no roof.
And I'm going to ask, Jessica, I'm starting with you.
Come back to me, please.
I should have learned. Scott,
How is this nascent structure anchored to the ground?
It's not. It's just sitting on wooden 4x6s, I think.
The 4x6s are embedded in the ground or in concrete?
No. They're just sitting. They're sitting on top of stone, which is on top of sand.
so it's going on top of wood as opposed to concrete?
Yeah, no concrete's involved.
Okay. And that wood is PT, I assume?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying
Over
to
here.
figure out where the sound was coming from. I don't hear that great. I'm sorry.
And that's PT?
What's a PT?
The 4x6s are PT?
What type of wood?
Pressure-treated wood?
I tell you the truth, I don't know. It's being built by another person. I'm not personally building it. It's being built by Echo Yard Solutions Company. And I don't know if it's pressure treated or not, to tell you the truth.
If it's not, it's going to rot away in a year or so.
Well, I should look into that. He told me about, gosh, I forget, not paint, but there's the sealer. I don't know what you call it.
Like creosote?
No, not creosote. It looks like paint, but it's not paint. I don't know what you call it. It has to be sprayed with that, probably multiple coatings.
So like a Thompson's water seal or something like that?
Well, I guess, yeah, some kind of wood seal. So I guess it's not pressure treated.
It wouldn't take long for that wood to rot away. Sorry, Scott, anything else?
No.
Paula Jean?
No, I looked at it. No particular questions right now.
Michael?
Thank you.
Same thing as Paula Jean. Pretty much my questions have already been answered about construction being started. And, well, actually, I may have one here. This is not on any impervious surfaces by any chance? You said this is raised?
I'm sorry, it's what?
This is not any impervious surfaces? The shed's raised and there's not any plans for it to be
Yeah,
like any
it's
walkways or
just,
anything?
the native sand has got rock on it, and then the 4x6s have it off the ground just a little bit.
Kwame?
That's all I had.
Oh, no questions, thank you.
I would strongly recommend that it not be sitting on wood. I would recommend that it be sitting on something that's a little bit more durable, like a concrete stone or some kind, block. The wood will rot on you, no matter how you seal it. Right now, you can seal what you can see, but you can't seal what's on the ground that you can't get to.
Yeah, that's true, yeah, absolutely.
Christine, comments?
No, the only comment that I would have made would have been a sturdier surface, like you just said. But
Is there anybody online or in the audience would like to comment on this project? I'm seeing none.
Move to close the hearing?
I have a motion to close the hearing, and I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. The hearing is closed. Christine, your recommendation?
-3, -6, there's going to be a $200 fine for starting the work without a permit. And an alternative sturdier, maybe even like a gravel would work.
Something
It's on
other,
crushed rock. It's
already
on
the
crushed rock.
something other than wood. You want something between the structure and the cross walk, and the cross stone. So,
Madam Chair, I think that's beyond our,
no, we can say,
okay.
oh, no, we won't say it, but we strongly recommend you use something other than wood to put your structure on. But that's not, we can't
Okay,
say you have to.
okay.
But, so we have a -6 and a -3 with a $200 fine for doing the work without permit.
So moved.
I have that
Second.
motion. I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. You have the project. See Christine for your formal paperwork.
Okay,
Okay? Thank you.
thank you. All righty. So I see you tomorrow, okay, all right.
You all set for the next one?
Next one, please.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yep.
Welcome. On the request for a notice of intent for Alice Edwards, 2 Hancock Street, Plainville, Mass. Proposed septic system upgrade for map 28, lot 4 and 5, 2 Spindrift Lane, Wareham, Mass. Map 57, lot 1004, A2, 0 Shady Lane, also in Wareham, Mass. I'm going to notice to move the hearing until June 3rd, 2026.
We need to open it first.
Oh, motion.
Motion to open.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to open the hearing. Now you may make your,
Okay. Notice to move until June 3rd, 2026.
I have a motion to
Second.
continue until June 3rd. I have a second, all in, did I hear a second? All in favor?
Yep.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstained. We're continued. Next, please.
All right. So, the next one here. Hold on here, I'm just getting my paper here, okay. All right, on the request for a notice of intent for, if I mispronounce this, my deepest apologies here, Scott Cranziel, 6 rather, Tony's Lane, Wareham, Mass. The project includes land disturbance and earthwork to construct an area for soil material stockpiling. The project is located adjacent to the ongoing expansion of the Wareham wastewater pollution control facility. Map 43, lot 1000, 6 Tony's Lane, Wareham, Mass. And notice to open hearing, please.
I have that motion.
Second.
And a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstained. And who's here representing this project?
Hi, my name is Mark Drainville. I'm with GHD. We're the engineer on the project.
Okay, Mark, before you start, I need to declare that I have filed a possible conflict of interest. I am a sewer commissioner, and this is one of the sites that we oversee. So I want to be clear that I filed it with the clerk for possible conflict.
I also, as a sewer commissioner, have filed a notice with the clerk of
Potential,
appearance of conflict of interest.
one of those things. So to be clear, now, Mark, talk to us about this, please.
Yeah, so I'd like to give an overview of this, and then I have a colleague joining me via Zoom, and I just want to make sure that he can be allowed in or be able to speak.
Yes, if
that's
he
okay.
raises his hand, I'm sure that John will get him in.
I've already made him aware that he's on the call.
Okay.
Taylor, great, thank you. Yes, so we are in the process of upgrading a portion of the water pollution control facility in town. And as part of that project, there are several large tanks that are being constructed. There's quite a bit of material that's being excavated in order to accommodate these tanks. That material was decided to stay on site as a cost-saving measure, and there was a portion of the site that was designated early on to hold this material. It was originally designated on the west side of the site. The town requested that be moved during construction to better provide them with a use of the material that is the excavated material. And most of that area was in a non-resource area. However, the contractor inadvertently went beyond the limit of work, and they ended up putting some of this material into 2 resource areas. When we discovered that potential, we did go and survey it, confirm that, and met with the conservation agent, was suggested we go down the path of a notice of intent, and that's why we're here right now. And I have Taylor Drinkwater joining by Zoom, and he can provide more detail about what's in the notice of intent, but I'm happy to answer questions on what I just said, if you have questions on
So,
that.
Taylor, it's 291 pages of a notice of intent? I'm impressed. Needless to say, I didn't read it all, but that's all right. We'll start with Kwame.
So the work was done inadvertently, but it was in a resource area, so I just need to put that in my mind.
It's been moved out of resource area,
But it has
right?
been moved out, but it was done inadvertently. Okay. I got it. That's all I need to know.
So the notice of intent that we filed gives the remedy, and there's stormwater controls that are proposed too for the area, so, I'm not sure that Taylor, I don't think that the contractor has done the work yet. We had them stop activity.
Yes, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Can you speak
Okay.
to that?
Sure. So yes, as Mark mentioned, for the stockpile area, some of the fill or excavated material was, pushed past the existing bank there. So the work has not been completed to pull back the bank, but that is what we are proposing in order to comply with the regulations related to resource areas. And I mean, ultimately, we're trying to pull the fill material that was placed out of the 100-year floodplain, which is the main resource area that it is currently in right now.
Good. Michael?
Yeah, you kind of jumped ahead on Kwame's question here, a little bit here for me. So in the event there is, say, a large storm in town or a big rainstorm, there are plans to actually go check out the site, make sure it's okay, correct? Am I correct on that? Or there are going to be plans?
So I just want to make sure I understand your question. So it's actively under construction. So
Right.
there are people out there actively working on the site. The concern, I think the primary concern is that there is some additional material in the 100-year floodplain. It is proposed to remove that so that we would be recovering the storage in the 100-year floodplain.
Okay, so maybe I'm actually jumping ahead a little bit there.
Okay.
So when we get to that phase then, in the event there is, say, like a big storm in town or whatever, so there, somebody is going to go down and then check and make sure, like, check on like the status of that area, perhaps?
So we are putting in some stormwater controls in this new area that the contractor has created on site. So, and I think the stormwater calcs are in the package that you have. So we are putting in those stormwater controls.
There's silk fence there now.
There is.
Yes.
And I did notice that too earlier, and I kind of noticed that in the plans, the plan rather that Sandy was just mentioning a little while ago. Let's see.
Sorry, when I mentioned stormwater, the stormwater controls that I mentioned are permanent. We are putting in permanent stormwater controls. Sorry, that's what I was responding to, so.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Paula Jean?
Okay, I think I figured it out. The application was a bit daunting to read. I did go there and I had a nice tour. Scott gave me a tour and I saw the outfall and the giant dirt pile, which was the culprit. And silt fence was the first thing, of course, that came to mind. So I don't think I have any other questions unless we start talking about white-tailed eagles, which I'd never heard of before. That he said, you guys saw them out by the outfall?
I thought
A
they were...
white-tailed?
I
They were
thought they were-
Eurasian.
No, I thought they were juvenile
Bald eagles, right?
bald eagles.
Well, that's what, first thing I asked,
Not
I
know
said, well,
that.
they were juveniles, he said, no, they were whitetails for sure.
I
I
didn't
went
s-
home and looked it up, I'm like, whitetail, I missed that, and it would be extremely odd for them to be here in Massachusetts, they're in Europe and Asia,
I
so.
thought they were
But
juvenile.
now I want to learn all I can about them. Yeah, they could not
The
have been
two of
whitetails.
them that were fighting,
They had to be.
sorry, I know.
We digress.
Sorry.
Wildlife, you know?
Anything
Thank
else,
you.
Paula Jean?
No, thank you.
Scott?
When was the date that you discovered that the contractor had moved this material onto resource area?
So I don't remember the exact date, but it was sometime last winter, so the winter in 2025.
And when did you contact the conservation agent?
So I apologize, I do not remember. It would have been last year at some point, but I don't remember the date.
So this has been on the back burner.
So we've been working to get a survey, to get the flagging done, we've been working to get all the pieces together to submit the NOI.
And just to add to that as well, we did have to preliminary reviews with the engineering consultant that reviews these, just to make sure things were in line also, prior to submitting the actual NOI.
Right, the third-party reviewer, that's right.
Yeah, it was still cold out when Josh and I went out there. I want to say maybe January.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact time frame. It's definitely the winter, though.
I know it was the winter because it was freezing.
Where is this material stored relative to the sludge piles that,
Other end of the site.
the other end of the site?
Yeah,
East side.
yeah,
Oh,
we're,
I thought you said west.
originally, we were going to be storing the excess material on the west side. That was the original plan.
Where there's a plastic-lined area, that's where it was going to go originally.
So it's in the general area where the sludge is being stored, generally, not the same spot, but that part of the site. And the WPCA asked that we move it to the east side of the site because it could be put to better use.
Is Sarah Greenberg aware of this?
She is.
And Anastasia, is she also aware of this?
Yes. Well, I don't know if Anastasia is. Sarah's involved in this project with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I have a lot of questions from the Sewer Commission point of view.
I'm going to be asked to be placed on the agenda.
Okay. So this is 291 pages in the NOI. Let me just ask this question. Why are all the soil descriptions for 53C Gloucester Canton Complex, why is all that in the 400 or however long this document is, when those things are readily available on the USDA website?
So I believe I can chime in here. I believe you're talking about the portion that's part of the stormwater report. We do just like to include all the existing conditions data that we have in there. I think you'll see probably 270 pages of that are mostly the stormwater report with the hydraulic modeling, water quality calculations, and I assume what you're looking at, the USDA web soil survey. So we're just providing that as background, which we typically do with stormwater reports.
Is there an executive summary?
I believe there is a narrative, somewhat like the NOI narrative. Let me try to find the
It's
exact
page 1 and
page.
2, project narrative, background, standard, existing conditions, proposed conditions. So I only printed out the
Correct.
2 pages.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I'm going to need a site visit to look at this, and I can either do it as a conservation commissioner or as a sewer commissioner. I don't care. I have a vest for conservation commission, so, but I'll want to walk that with someone who's from GHD,
Sure.
so I can ask questions while I'm there. Christine, do you want to work with GHD to figure out a date for that, date and time for that?
Yeah, absolutely. I will go along as well.
Okay.
And if anybody else on the commission wants to join, just let me know.
Jessica?
I'm sure this is in here, but what is being stockpiled? What is it clean or is it?
It's excavated material that's simply being removed to put a tank underground.
Okay.
And that land it was removed from hadn't been used for anything else, so there wasn't anything already there. It was virgin land, so to speak, you know.
And you know approximately how many yards of material this is?
Taylor, do you know?
No, I did not. I think it varies because some of it is temporary.
I mean,
So I did
there's,
not know that.
yeah, I apologize, I don't know the total. I mean, there's two, they might be 70-foot diameter tanks that are being put in the ground. The vast majority of the material sits is in a, unclassified area, non-resource area, and I just don't know the material, the quantity.
So I just had a whisper in my ear, 4,493 cubic feet? Does that sound right?
Sorry, I don't know that.
Someone divide out so that we can know how many, that's okay. I can do the calculation for yards.
No? Anything else, Jessica?
Not at this time, no, thank you.
In the notice of intent, there were pictures of the sand piles, which are not lot smaller than there is now. Did I get the impression that some of that sand has been reused someplace else on the site?
So they do use, so, yeah, they.
It comes and goes.
Well, so they over-excavate, the tanks are concrete tanks, and then they backfill with on-site material, so they do reuse the material.
So both those clarifiers have been installed.
They have
They're in
been.
place, so some of that soil had been used to backfill
Correct.
the two that are there now.
That's right. Yep.
The pile is nowhere near as big as it had been in the picture on the notice. Any other comments? Christine?
When I was looking through the notice of intent, you have an alteration of 6,296 square feet of bordering land subject to flooding, and the replacement that you have is 4,450. Is there a reason you didn't do the full amount?
Let me see. I believe so, because this is not intentionally, filling in a resource area. Rather, we are taking fill material out of a resource area. So I believe that 4,000 would be the proposed. And let me bring up the application as well and just confirm that we're looking at the same thing.
In the pause, can I ask another question?
Go ahead.
Someone from GHD is on site all the time during this project.
Yes.
So why did not the person on site from your company observe that the contractor was moving this material into a resource area?
So the person who is on site is doing multiple activities, including, watching over concrete pours and things like that. The work that was happening was while he was elsewhere.
That's 164 yards of material.
Yeah, he didn't, once he realized that it had crossed the line, that's when he, made note to us and we stopped the activity.
It's going to be an interesting sewer commission meeting, I can see.
All right.
And so, sorry, if I can follow up on that 4,450. So I believe that would be the area then that we are restoring to existing conditions. And then the total volume that is proposed to be removed from the floodplain would also bring the flood storage back to existing conditions.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, I was just wondering about that because when you alter any bordering land subject to flooding, there has to be like compensatory storage for it. So.
And we do have a calculation for that. And apologies, I'm on, Zoom. I don't mean to interrupt anybody, but if you reference Plan CI-00103, floodplain storage and mitigation summary, there's a lot there, but it shows the compensatory storage that we're proposing by way of removing that fill that's in the floodplain. And then the net volume would be what existing was previously.
All right, thank you.
Anybody comment on this project?
Could I add one
Yes, please.
more
Mark, go
thing?
ahead. Yep.
One thing I just want to note is that, all of the work that's done on the site is supposed to come through us, and this is an activity that did not come through us.
Can you clarify who us is?
Sorry, is through GHD as
Thank
the
you.
engineer. Any activities that happen on the site, we're supposed to be kind of the reviewer and allow them, and this one did not go through us. And so, once it was discovered that the activities were going beyond the limit of work is the area that the contractor has to stay within, that's when our on-site person recognized it, so.
Yeah, I'm surprised you were pouring concrete in January.
Well, they pour it all year. I gave that as an example. I don't know what was happening on site at the time, but they pour all year.
Yeah, I was out there and they were not pouring because it was too cold, I remember. It was paused. But anyway, that's for a different commission, I know. I'm sorry, Sandy.
Well, if I can talk about the bald eagles, you can talk about concrete pouring. All right. What would you like, folks? I know Scott wants to visit, but several of us have already been out there.
Have you been out there with the engineers walking around?
I went out there with Scott Kay.
I did too.
So you want to walk around with the engineers?
Depends on when, for me.
I would like to walk with the engineers.
All right.
If Sarah can be there, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, sure.
Sarah Greenberg for
Yeah.
the minutes taker.
Is that coordinated through you, Christine? Can I just have Sarah maybe get in touch with you and?
Yep, and then I can just coordinate everybody's schedules so we can come up with an agreeable time.
Okay, great.
All right.
Will do.
Wait a second. Can someone make a motion to continue until 6:03?
Make a motion to continue until 6:03.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know, 291 pages. Wow. Okay.
All right.
That's continued. Next one, please.
Wait, did you just continue to 6:03?
That's what we started, that's what we said.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to double check.
That is the next one, isn't it?
No, it's.
May 20th,
Well, we said 6:03.
did 6:03.
That gives us more than 2 weeks
than
to
2
do a
weeks.
visit, site visit.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that it was June and not May.
What's May?
Yeah.
The other one's May 20th.
Today's May 6th.
Day's
and,
gone.
Yeah, it gives us some weeks to coordinate a walkthrough,
Yeah.
as opposed to trying to push it off in 2 weeks. Okay, next one, please.
On the request for a notice of intent for Robert Ducetti, 47 Cleveland Way, Wareham, Mass. Applicant is proposing to remove an existing timber retaining wall that is failing. The existing timber wall will be replaced with concrete ready rock wall. Also, the concrete steps down to the beach will be replaced with wood and composite decking and rails. The work will occur within the buffer zone to a coastal bank and coastal beach. Approximately 130 square feet of coastal bank will be temporarily altered to replace the existing concrete steps. Erosion control will be replaced at the proposed limit of work. Map 7B.2, Lot 10, 47 Cleveland Way, in Wareham, Mass. And notice to open hearing, please.
Second.
I have a motion and a second from Kwame. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. The hearing is open. And who's here representing the project?
Brian Grady, GAF Engineering for Mr. Doucette. This project has been before you a little while ago for the house reconstruction, which is currently underway. This proposal is, I don't know how many of you were able to get to the site, the pressure-treated wall is failing. It's not imminent failure, but now's the time to get the work done since contractors are on the site is disturbed. He's looking to get this approved and move forward with the repair, the replacement.
So that pressure-treated wall is going to be removed, replaced with a concrete ready rock block wall. And you've seen the concrete stairs that exist going down the bank to the beach are quite old, fairly rough shape, so we're proposing to replace those with an elevated composite deck walkway, get rid of the impervious concrete. It'll be elevated above the sand. David Andrade will be performing the work for the Ready Rock Wall reconstruction, a local contractor. And if I could respond to any questions you have.
All right. Kwame?
Hi.
Good evening.
So, on the plan, it says, exterior concrete stairs and landing to be removed and replaced with new composite steps, handrails, and landings. And then and then underneath that it says protect exterior wall during construction, repair, replace if disturbed, coordinated with owner. That's the owner of the property or the owner of the?
Well, on the southerly side or on the left side of the plan, there's stairs on the adjacent property going down, and there's some planters between the stairs and Mr. Doucette's property line. So he's spoken with that neighbor that there may be some temporary disturbance while the wall's being built of those timber planters. Anything disturbed will be replaced. So it's on the left side of the neighboring property.
And obviously the neighbor knows and is.
Yes, he's spoken with the neighbor, and obviously prior to construction occurring, we'll have another conversation with the neighbor.
Understood. Okay, I just wanted to
Yep.
understand the concept of that. Thank you.
Michael?
Okay. Where are the construction items going to be stored for this? And I asked that because when I was down there, it looked like it was a very short distance between, say, the fencing and then the grass and then the wall. Then I see like a fire pit with some, say, like a concrete cinder blocks on there, and then maybe some rusted pipes in there. So I was just curious, where are all the construction items going to be stored for this retaining wall?
Yeah, it's going to be a careful dance. It's a small site. So he's probably going to be pulling some of the sand back, storing it as close to the house as possible. Some of it just may need to be removed and trucked temporarily off-site. So some of the sand will be removed, a couple of those levels of PT will be taken down. And it probably will work in sections. So start, let's say here, take everything down, build up the concrete, then the dirt can be placed back against the Ready Rock wall when it's finished. So you're kind of spot working, getting the wall done. But, speaking with David, if he has to take some of the materials off-site, that sand to be excavated, he will take it off-site, take it down to his yard, and bring it back as needed.
Okay, that's all I had. Thank you.
Paula Jean?
No questions, thank you.
Scott?
No questions, thank you.
What?
Jessica?
I'm sorry, Brian.
No questions.
I'm glad to see that the existing concrete steps will have a landing in it, because that's a long way to go in one breath. I mean, that's a steep set of stairs. What about the plant material that's in front of this wall and the beach? Will those invasives be removed?
There's no current plan to remove those.
They'll work around it.
Yeah, there's a small flat area in front of the PT that's
Yep.
hardly vegetated, then you get into that bramble area.
That, yes, that one you get.
So that
lost.
should remain. It's stabilizing the bank quite well, but there's no plan to remove that.
And he'll coordinate with the neighbor on the south side.
On the south side and on
Well,
the other side, because on the other side, at the bottom, at the beach, the concrete steps, and there's a stone wall that the neighbor has, they meet up. So there'll be a little care that'll need to be taken there, kind of some handwork to separate the stairs from that stone wall, but that shouldn't be difficult.
Yeah, I was concerned about the wall and the work being done on the south side, because there is not a whole lot of space there on his property before he goes over to his neighbor's property in order to get the work done.
Well,
But they're talking, right?
They all have to work together when you're in that situation. So, but he has spoken with the neighbor, and he will do that prior to the construction beginning.
Okay. Christine, any comments?
No, actually, Mike addressed the comment that I was going to make about where the stockpiling of the materials was going to be, because I did speak to the neighbor, or one of the neighbors, and I guess in the past, she's allowed people to use her driveway for like parking or for stockpiling of materials and stuff. And I think it's the steps down, they're kind of close to that property. I can see you have the erosion control up there. I know she was just a little worried about if there was going to be anything that would encroach into her property. So that was the only
Was that the
comment.
neighbor on the left or the right?
I don't. Oh, yes.
Please, if you'd like to address us, come up and identify yourself.
Probably better to have the person who actually was here for it.
My name is Joan Johnson. I am the property owner of 49 Cleveland Way. It's been in my family for 3 generations. Robert Doucette has not spoken to me at all about this plan. The relationship has been a bit of a challenge. And so I came tonight to find out about these stairs that go down to the beach. As the gentleman said, we have a stone wall that actually my grandmother had put in when I was 4. I'm 80 years old now, so it was a while ago. And so I was concerned as to how they were going to put the stairs down, if they're going to put the stairs down in the same location. The properties are extremely close. I mean, it was the way it was. They built the homes and there were no setbacks.
So, Brian, will you show her the plan as to how these new steps will address the wall on her property? It does say, protect the existing wall during construction, repair and replace if disturbed, coordinate with owner. That is on the plan. It does say that on the plan.
Okay.
They are concerned, and they will take, if it's damaged, it will be repaired.
Yeah, it's a stone wall, mortared stone wall, if I remember, and it's, maybe this wide. So it's a small section of it that is basically mortared to the concrete steps. So it's just a little section that'll need to be worked so that we don't damage the existing wall with just that little section that's attached to it. That'll remove it. They could mortar the face or something. So it's going to be a small area of disturbance, but we're just pointing out to the contractor, be careful of it. It's not our wall. You need to protect it.
Anything else?
That's exactly what I came for. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak.
Brian, can you give a copy of the plans to the abutter?
Sure, you can take these home if you want.
Okay. Thank you.
And just call our office if you have any questions.
That'd be great. I appreciate the
Sure
help.
thing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your help.
Anybody else would comment on this project? Anybody online? Christine, your comments? Did I ask for that already? I did, sorry. All right.
And we did get the EP file number with no comments, so we're all set there.
All right, folks, what do you want to do?
Move to close the hearing?
Thank you.
Second.
And I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining. The hearing is closed. Christine, your recommendation.
Standard order of conditions.
So
All right.
moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. You have it. Please see Christine before you start any of your work for the paperwork.
Very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We have a, sorry. We have a noticed continued public hearing. The Safe Harbor Marina was continued until 6/3. 7 Burgess Point Shores continued until 6/17. Town of Wareham, Minot Ave until 6/17. Riverhawk. Anybody here for that one?
I have not heard from Mr. Rigo. I did send him the information from the last meeting about who he can contact if the owner's not getting in contact with him. I will give him a call tomorrow, see if he reached out, if he spoke to anybody.
I would love to find a way of saying enough's enough, but
Well, sending Christine over there with a fine every day. That would do it, probably. Christine, do you go by there on your way to work or anything?
I'm all highway.
That might do it.
I think it would.
what would you like to do, folks?
Another brief extension, I guess.
We'll
Brief.
continue until May 20th?
At that point, maybe we should consider denying the application because it's not complete. It's not complete because we haven't had a site visit.
Want to do it now?
We
You
can
want to
do it
wait?
now.
Yeah, now.
I wouldn't mind doing
been
it now
months and
either.
months.
I mean, how many months has this been now? At least it's the fall, right?
This
I
came
think I did
before us,
visit there.
wait a minute, August 20th of
Okay.
2025? Is
Exactly.
when they
That's enough
first came
time.
to us?
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Sufficient.
If we deny the permit, then what do we do as far as, because the work needs to be done, they need to repair this stuff. So then how do we compel them to apply again?
Can we shut the business down?
Oh, boy, that would
I
get
don't
action.
know.
That would get their attention.
Well, certainly would. Did you see all the constructions that has gone on down there?
Yeah.
All the buildings that have gone on Bay Point,
Yeah,
coming up to Onset Ave?
yeah, there's a lot of construction going on over there right now.
Duplexes, yeah. I don't understand how we can't get this done.
Could record an enforcement order on the property, on their deed. Send another one with another fine.
So those need to be separate motions, one to deny and one to,
Can I ask a quick question? So in other applications in town, you have to have all of your taxes paid in order to get a building permit issued, for example. There are building permits being issued, right? Like there's active construction going on. So why wouldn't this need to be resolved or at least in good standing in order to continue with other town approvals and permitting?
I don't know, that's a good question for the building department.
and for the director of development for the town, planning and development.
Oh, you think planning and development, can we bring Mr. Faraday in on this? I mean, can we have Josh help us with this? What can be
Suck him
stopped?
right in.
Can he go to planning or zoning or something and, or downstairs to planning department, building department and say no more?
I'm not quite sure if he can or not. I believe he may be able to contact the owner and speak to him about it.
August 20th,
How
20,
many months was Josh?
25.
Let's subpoena Josh Faraday before this committee.
Get him on the line right now.
Phone a friend.
All right. What do you want, folks? Continue until 5:20?
Further action after that, right?
And let Josh know what we're thinking of doing and have a recommendation from Josh as to what our steps are to make this happen.
I think that we should continue for this one one additional bit, because our options might be more limited if we deny, if there's no open
Right,
application pending.
right.
Okay.
All right.
So if we continue just to the next meeting and talk to Josh and tell him what we're thinking.
And I will let the representative at Riverhawk know as well.
Know what? That we're losing patience, or what?
What you are planning, just so that, because I know he's having a hard time getting in touch, but at the same time, I gave him the information of who he could contact last time. I haven't heard anything back from him. So,
But we can't compel them to come before us. There's no subpoena power, there's nothing that we can do, other than sending you over there every day with a letter and a fine.
I mean, if that's what we want to do, it's getting nicer out. I can take the drive.
Okay.
Though those gas prices have jumped up to 60 cents in the
Oh,
past
no.
2
This
weeks.
is an
we have
electric
EVs.
vehicle.
We have EVs, electric vehicles.
I think we
Nice,
could
there you
say, you could let him know that we're taking action at our next meeting.
Yes.
And that our options include a daily fine. And that at our next meeting, we are likely to be making a decision that would be impactful, and they have between now and the next meeting to respond or to show up at the next meeting. Is that fair, if I'm speaking?
Yes.
I don't mean to speak for everybody.
No, sounds perfect.
Sounds good to me.
Good, sums it up.
Okay, so I take a motion to continue until 5:20?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
A second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Right. Then there's a request for 17 Atlantic Ave. They requested a continuance until 5:20.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The 16 Widow Cove Lane requested until 6:17.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, ayes have it, we're in 6:17. The next one we have is 20 Long Nick Road.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Tough crowd, get ready.
Oh, there's bigger problems in the world than a couple of little PVC pipes.
You didn't even let him sit down.
That's, I guess it's a sign of affection. A little bit of abuse from the commission. That's the way I take it.
Please identify yourself.
So it's Bob Rogers, GAF Engineering, on behalf of the applicant. So at the initial public hearing, we explained that there was a violation of the condition of the original order of conditions, that the impervious driveway required a hearing, and so that's what we came in for, and we explained that. And then Scott was so kind to make me aware that there was that the roof drains that all go into the ground, I don't know if you saw both pipes, but there's two separate pipes. And at the time in 2010, the owner, it was his house, it was his active cranberry bog. And I think not having known the gentleman, that it just seemed like common sense to him. I don't know what sources of water that cranberry bog had, but I think clearly he thought it was a good idea to put clean roof runoff into his cranberry bog. So we revised our plan and to locate those pipes on it. And I, excuse me, had some emails back and forth with the owners, who are the heirs of Paul Piscatelli, John and Diana. And so they agreed to cap those pipes. I explained to them that we would typically, on new construction, we would typically, put, 2 or 4 roof infiltration chambers at the corners, which in this instance would be creating earthwork and creating a potential for erosion. But if we simply cap those perforated pipes at the ends where they are, then it's going to maximize the infiltration for the existing system. And, there's I didn't see any degradation, where those pipes come in, but I did note that, it's the 4-inch ADS green stripe. It's all perforated. So it's going to do what the chambers would do. So basically, we're just asking to, accept our fine, and we explained that there's crushed stone trenches for those other impervious surfaces, but, we can very quickly cap those pipes and then come back and request a certificate of compliance and clean up the title for what would be the 2 outstanding orders at that point.
I'm sorry, I don't follow where the roof water is going to go.
Yeah.
So it's perforated pipe. So it's going to, now that right now, it infiltrates some at the bottom of the pipe until you get a lot of rain, and then it runs out the end of the pipe. Once they're capped, water's going to, the 4 inches of pipe is going to be full of water.
All right, so
Yeah.
just so I understand, just to use the terminology that was brought up earlier, you're going to cap at the distal end rather than at the proximal end?
Yes, we'll
Okay.
cap them at the ditch, at the discharge.
All right, I get it now. I was thinking
Yes.
you would kind of cap it at the...
So it'll surcharge the pipe, however much length of pipe there is, however much stone is underneath it, so it'll surcharge the system instead of letting it freely run out.
You know what the volume would be, Bob, of the pipes?
I didn't try and guesstimate. I mean, there's an obvious length if the ones from the back come around the front, and then there's 2 of them.
Yeah.
I don't have that information with me, but it's 4-inch diameter, so I don't know how much of a volume per linear foot.
So it's unlikely to handle the amount of roof water coming off in a storm.
Well, it just depends how much it is. You get a half-inch of rain over a day, it'll be fine. You get a half-inch of rain in 10 minutes, it's not so good. But I think, we normally put those chambers within 10 feet, just, right next to the house. So, one of those arch chambers would have more volume, but, I mean, there's a little bit of length to that pipe, and again, replacing that with something else, the cranberry bog that's now a wetland system, it doesn't seem to need any improvement, and so, again, capping that pipe prevents any direct discharge, but it's going to infiltrate what it infiltrates, and then it's going to overflow at the where the downspout goes into the ground. And it's like everybody sort of envisions, well, we get all this rain, and so when we get a ton of rain, it's raining everywhere. It's raining into the bog. It's raining onto the dirt road. It's raining on the house, and so there's a lot of water everywhere that's commingling and traveling downstream.
Right, but the impervious surface it concentrates, especially with gutters and downspouts, it concentrates the amount of water and it increases the energy in that water, right?
Sure, yep.
Yeah, so do you know if those pipes are laid in gravel or not? You haven't done any kind of...
I don't. It's probably just a little bit of pea stone. And there was no proposed roof infiltration shown on the original design plans, so it wasn't a requirement. They did use perforated pipe, could have been worse. So that's where we're at.
Anything else?
Nope.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I'm just picturing, so there were no requirements originally, so the rain comes down off the roof and it just shoots off where it goes. Then the pipes were put in, so it would go into the pipe, which
Into the
was,
bogs.
and then go into the bogs, we'd shoot out the pipe. So now the end of the pipe is closed, because we had talked quite a bit about dry wells or French drains or something at the last meeting. And now it's like kind of, so it's different, so that the pipe's gonna be full. How fast will it dissipate into the ground through the pipe? Not that fast, and then, so it's gonna be running off the roof. I guess I'm thinking, where's it going to go? It's going to flood the homeowner's basement before it bothers anywhere else?
Yeah.
Or are we kidding ourselves and we need a couple of French drains?
Yeah, well, so, again, I don't know the exact dimensions of the house, but so you've got maybe 28 feet, and then the 2 pipes going to the bog. So, you might have, say, 150 feet of pipe
Yeah.
that's going to be capped. And so over 150 feet in those 2 4-inch pipes, it's going to be infiltrating. So it's not going to be a whole lot of water going to 2 chambers. It's basically, being directed away from the house and over that length, and it's typical, thankfully, good Wareham sandy soil. So it's going to go into the ground, and then, when it finally overflows with, like I say, when the yard's already going to be wet with however much rain, it's not going to harm, the basement at that point.
So time will tell, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Well, and again, I reached out to the owners, and this is their decision, so
Yeah.
they shouldn't be pointing
I
fingers.
went there, but it's been a month now, 2 weeks and 2 weeks. I don't even remember, like, if there were neighbors really close by or something else that would be impacted by the water.
No, there's a little, I forget, what is it, Easy Lane or something, there's a little
Or if there was,
neighborhood, but
other
there's no
erosion.
other houses close by.
Everybody's above them.
Any overflow is going to end up going to that wetland bog.
All right,
But
Thank
slowed
you.
down by the grass and,
hopefully, yeah.
and then the gravel stop at the end of the driveway. So that will also slow it down some, right? The gravel trench.
Yeah, well, you're right, there's a crushed stone trench that's like
Right.
3/4 stone that's at the toe of the driveway, and then there's smaller pea stone that goes at the base of the ready rock wall with the patio. So,
Questions? Anybody got questions?
My concern about the pipes have already been addressed, thank you.
Okay. Christine, comments?
No comments.
Anybody online comment on this project? Not this time. Thank you. All right.
Move to close the hearing?
I have a motion and a second to close the hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstains. The hearing is closed. Christine, your recommendation?
Standard order of conditions with the pipes being capped. And were you guys wanting to add French drains or dry wells?
No.
No, I'm okay with this plan.
Okay.
And now, how many fines? The work was done before it was approved. How many existing? Concrete driveway is 1. Concrete patio is 2. Crushed stone driveway is 3.
I wouldn't count the crushed
And
stone.
the pipes in the ground?
No, that's already there.
It's on the Long Neck Road side.
Oh, those pipes existed way before this work.
So 3.
Hmm?
So 3. That's what you've
I
listed
think so far. Concrete walk of all which, stone driveway and walk and concrete walk, all of which were not shown on the approved plan that existed when the work was done in 2010. 3? Come on, folks, how many you get? 3,
Yeah,
4, 5?
It's kind of hard to decide because they're connected projects.
Yes.
I mean, we could count each of the pipes under the ground going into the cranberry bog.
Well, how long ago were those pipes put there?
It was done when the house was constructed,
So it was part of the 2010?
so yes. Yep.
So 3's okay with me.
3's okay?
Same here.
I
Would
guess
we,
three's
would we
okay.
have permitted all 3 of them?
Would we have approved a concrete driveway, or would we have asked for a permeable surface?
Would have asked for permeable.
Yeah, I'm
Well-
not sure back then.
For sure.
I'm not
See, I've
sure
got a
that-
condition with the concrete, if it's a sloped driveway, I'm very concerned about not having something that is solid to handle traffic that goes up and down a slope, but that's,
So these probably would have been permitted then. So 3 permitted, is that what you're thinking?
yeah, I'm trying to think, we've got 3 violations, are we going to do 200 apiece or 300 apiece, or mix them up? So if 200 apiece with 3 violations, that's a $600 fine.
That sounds reasonable to me.
Second.
So have we made the motion?
I think the motion was a What was the motion? Standard order of
Standard
condition
order
Yeah.
With the pipes being capped.
with the pipes being capped and a $600 fine.
Yeah.
So moved.
I have that
Second.
motion. And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, abstained. Done.
So much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
See you later, Bob.
I guess my motion to adjourn died for lack of a second, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got one more thing. We got,
It wasn't recognized.
We have 3 Marks Cove Road,
That one needs a DEP file number.
missing DEP. So make a motion to continue until 5:20.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstained. Rodriguez is done until 5:20. The next thing we have is an amended order of conditions, and they've asked that that be continued until 6/17,
I believe it was May 20th.
May 20th?
Yeah.
Okay. Motion to continue SC 762819, 16 Widow Cove Lane until 5:20.
So moved.
Second?
All in, motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, continued. Now, we are coming down to, wait a minute, I gotta get, what did Johnson go?
you're going to have a quorum because I can't be here 5:20.
Well, anybody have an issue with 5:20?
I do.
That's 2 of you. Well, the rest of us, all I need is 4 to show up.
I think I have a hair appointment that day.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Now, well, let me know if you're not going to make it.
I can, if I need to, I can join remotely. I'll just be out of town.
Okay. Then we have a certification of compliance for 12 Harborview Lane,
Which they also requested a continuance.
but we haven't issued it yet, have we?
No.
Okay. The motion is they want to continue it until 5:20?
So moved?
Is that motion in?
Second.
And a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, that's continued until 5:20. And why don't we bring up Scott Parr for an interview? Yes. So he can go to dinner. You were given his application for this committee?
Yes.
Okay, introduce yourself, please, and tell us why you want to be here.
I'm Scott Parr. I live at 87 Oak Street, and I have, for some time, not been involved in town and local affairs and not contributed in the manner that historically I chose to do. So, having been a Wareham resident now for, I believe, 7 years, maybe 6. I was hoping for an opportunity to be able to participate.
And you have attended quite a few meetings speaking on a project that abutted your land, so you have attended meetings.
Yes.
Questions? Kwame?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Very good. So, like, in your past life, what did you do for work? I'm just interested.
I normally have a humorous response to that because when I look back at what I've done, it really covers a variety of areas and topics. I think in some respects I'm a recovering lawyer. Most of my career has been in business, in roles of senior leadership or chief executive officership of technology and health-related companies. I have done a fair amount of work in government and in nonprofit sectors, although less so lately.
Oh, perfect. And last question is, do you bake? Because if you bake, the reason why I ask is because the newbies bring in sweets. For,
Carrot
sorry,
cake, I think.
that's just what everybody else
do?
does.
Carrot cake, I think, was the
Carrot cake.
I'm better at Asian and at grilling.
Not perfect.
We
Perfect.
tend to delegate the
That
cooking, and
fits.
soups and baked goods go to my wife or to my daughter.
Thank you so much.
thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Michael?
What do you find most interesting or intriguing about conservation or like environmental work, basically?
Well, I'm enormously impressed by how much work each of you is doing. And I think what I find interesting is how complicated it is. And it's also a bit intimidating as I listen to some of the questions and gain some understanding of how knowledgeable people are. So there is a challenge for me, I think. It's not, other than in very general terms, an area in which I've become a subject matter expert. As a public policy matter, I think it's important that the necessary balance between protecting the environment and having some empathy with residents of the community be maintained. And I mean, I enjoy that challenge, and I'm impressed by how well people do it here.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Paula Jean?
No questions, but I greatly welcome you here.
Thank you, Paula Jean.
Scott?
What do you think is the most pressing issue facing the Conservation Commission at this point?
I think it's highlighted by the previous discussion, where if you make a decision, in some respects you lose power and authority and the ability to influence the events relating to projects that come before you. There's a kind of a trap where if you deny something and it's taken to the state and the state approves it, then you're without any influence. So I think one of the balancing questions is how do you use the potential to approve with condition as an alternative to outright denial to be able to maintain some authority over projects that are important to the environment and to the community? I see that as a challenge.
It is a challenge, and as a matter of fact, I was just reading a superseding order of conditions, and it states in there that the Conservation Commission that made the original ruling is supposed to be party to any hearing that the state conducts, hearing or any procedures that the state conducts subsequent to that decision. So we've not been doing that, and there are maybe reasons for that, and okay, well, that's enough pontificating from me. Thank you.
Well, I should disclose that Scott Parr is my father, so that for the record, everyone is aware of that. I don't have any specific questions. We've spoken at length about participation on this commission and the importance, and instead of a question, maybe I could speak a little bit to ability, intellect, creativity, and common sense, which I think is hard sometimes when you're dealing with the law, which is what we're doing, right? And so there are times where we have to be prepared to blend interpretation with real world common sense. And I think that you'll find that Scott will be excellent at that.
So
Maybe some bias there.
we will do a Scott S and a Scott P.
I'm used to that. On Sewer Commission for Scott S and Scott F,
K.
or Scott K, or Scott number 1 and Scott number 2.
But do you have any troubles? I know that you are gone how many months a year?
During the winter, we're typically gone from mid-December through early March.
Would you be willing to take as many meetings as possible via Zoom?
Yes. And I think for that period, that would really be most, if not all. We do some other travel. I mean, we have international travel planned in September for our 50th anniversary, and
Oh,
that's going to be a little
congratulations.
more difficult.
understand. We do have an opening in an associate position, which is a non-voting position, and we do ask that you play that position for at least 2 months before meetings. So we'll come join us.
Yes.
And Christine, anything to add?
About the position or?
Anything to ask? Now, I've never had a father and daughter on a same committee before. We'll put you on opposite sides of the table.
Believe it or not, we don't always agree.
We
Oh,
do
I know
not.
what that's like. Huh, Scott?
Yes. I'd love to go to a town meeting and sit next to Sandy, and Alan, her husband, will vote yes, and Sandy will vote no on every item before the town.
I asked her at the most recent meeting whether she and Ellen come in separate cars.
They may come in the same car, but going home might be different. I don't know.
Get home.
We may not always go to the same room at home.
Scott, I would say that the associate position is actually the happy time, because you're part of the discussion, you can ask questions and all that, but you don't have to make those really hard decisions that we're making all the time. I mean, you can practice that in your mind, but you don't have to. So that's, like I say, that's really the happy time of being associated with so you should enjoy that when you're.
I hope you're all enjoying what you're doing, because you're working very hard.
If there's nothing else, I will take a motion to recommend Scott Parr be appointed an associate member of the Conservation Commission, and I'll do that to the Select Board.
So moved.
Second?
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. I will send that recommendation to the Select Board. And while you might as well, we have to talk about the osprey nest, tree removal, and 28 Nelson Street. We're bringing up 28 Nelson Street because it was a project we denied. And the state overrode us. And there was not really strong enough reasons to fight back. So
Did we have an opportunity?
I believe, was Mr. Bowen discussing, was this brought to Mr. Bowen as to whether or not we had enough power or strength to fight the state back?
What was brought to town council was for the superseding. He has all the paperwork for it, and for the notice to appear.
So it would be up to him whether or not to follow through with that?
Well, the thing about the superseding orders is there are 10 business days to appeal them to OADR. And when they send it out, they don't send digital copies of those superseding orders to me. So I just get them in the mail. And I didn't get that in the mail until like almost 2 weeks after they had issued it.
So we lost our 10 days.
So is basically, that seems like it is unfair. If it wasn't our fault, we weren't notified until beyond the deadline, then we don't have the option. The option is taken away from us.
Yeah,
That seems fundamentally wrong
I'm sorry,
to me.
you said, so we have a 10-day appeal period?
There's a 10-day appeal period, but it's 10 business days. So when it was issued, it was March 13th, and I didn't receive it in the mail until the 26th, when the business day that it would have had to have been sent in by would have been the 27th.
And the appeal form, there's a lot to it.
Yes.
Would take a lot of work to put that together. And then it has to be hand-delivered or mailed. There's no electronic way of sending it. So and then the other thing is that, as I mentioned, the Conservation Commission who makes the original determination is supposed to be part of the proceedings or any further action done by the state. And if they're not notifying us that there's some proceeding, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. So because we wouldn't know that there's a procedure until they tell us.
Right, that seems
This
fundamentally
document is stamped February 20,
Which document?
the one for 46, for 28 Nelson Street. The 0 Maple Spring Road, the sewer, the solar panels were dated March 13th.
Yeah, I used that one as an example of the timing problem.
Oh, maybe that, oh yeah, that was probably what it was, not
Yeah.
28 Nelson.
So you mean if we even wanted to appeal it?
Yeah.
There's no
There-
recourse for us whatsoever because that deadline's gone by?
When the deadline goes by, I don't remember when I sent out the superseding for 28 Nelson, but yeah, it was Maple Springs that you sent me that had that timing problem.
It bothers the
That
heck
makes me
out of
wanna
me, too.
start, like,
If we
flipping
only had
tables.
lawyers on this commission.
How do we determine when we are going to appeal something? How is that decision made, and do we have enough time?
A
We'd have to
discussion with town council.
But we'd have to meet to decide that, too.
Does it have to be recommended by the Conservation Commission, or is it a business decision by the town?
I don't know, because every time that we have denied a peer, town council has fought it for us and we've won. But
How
I
is
don't
town council getting notified of those, though? Because there must be a notification process that's different than mail. I mean, if you're a party to an action, you get notification, or there's service of process in some way that's differently documented or required to be made, and then, there's gotta be some process where if he's aware of the peers but wasn't aware of this one, what is the process?
How is Mr. Bowen notified of, they overrode us?
So that's also something that I have to bring up to him. Because we get, it just comes in the mail to the Conservation Department. So I have to go check the mail upstairs and see if it's there. And if there's anything in there that has to do with legal proceedings, if it's something, because we've gotten the occasional appeal from residents, and those I have to bring up to him, because a lot of the times will include a notice to appear in one of the superior, or not superior courts, but one of the courts. So when those come in, I will put together everything that needs to be put together, and I'll bring it up to town council so that he can review everything. And I send it to him in an email, because I'll scan it in on the day that I get it.
So the SOC for 28 Nelson Street, before we get to the Osprey, it says in there they can build as long as they stay within the footprint, the original footprint, which is exactly what we said. The question was, what is the original footprint? So remember, they wanted to build these decks and the stuff that hangs over, and we said that's not within the original footprint. Those are all cantilevered structures and et cetera. So the letter from DEP, is that right? Yeah, DEP says, yeah, as long as you stay within the footprint, but they don't stipulate
What's the footprint?
what the footprint is.
As of what date?
So,
The original footprint had the house in the middle of the street.
yeah, so, but we had no way of communicating with them. Yeah, that's what we said, but we disagree with the architects over what the footprint was. So they're saying exactly the same thing we are, but they're interpreting it, I think, in a different way.
But if we don't answer, then we lose our voice.
That's right.
And if we don't know they've made a determination, how are we supposed to answer?
So, Madam Chair, can I read the
Design.
appeal rights and time limits exactly from the SOC? It's very short.
Okay.
The applicant, the landowner, any person aggrieved by the superseding order, determination, or other reviewable decision as defined at 310 CMR 10.04, who previously participated in the proceedings leading to this reviewable decision, the Conservation Commission, or any 10 residents of the city or town where the land is located, if at least one resident is previously a participant in the permit proceeding, are hereby notified of their right to appeal this reviewable decision pursuant to MGL C3030A, etc., provided the request is made by certified mail or hand delivery to the department, along with the appropriate filing fee and a Mass DEP fee transmittal form within 10 business days of the date of issuance of the superseding order or determination. And then it gives the address. So like I said, this one was dated March 13th. The issuance date is March 13th, and it was distributed to us as soon as Christine got it on March
And
26th.
That was for 0 Maple Spring Road.
Zero Maple Street, but this SOCs are all the same. This is all boilerplate.
But more than likely with that one, since it is a solar project, I'm sure citizens have jumped on that one.
I'm looking at the 28 Nelson Street one, though.
Oh,
The-
and Scott's not.
They're all the same, because they're general conditions under the Massachusetts Protection Act.
It's the same language. This one is stamped February 20th.
Yes. All right.
Oh, wait, and then the other thing, general conditions under Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, where the Department of Environmental Protection is requested to issue a superseding order, the Conservation Commission shall be a party to all agency proceedings and hearings before DEP.
I guess it's not happening.
So we should have been privy to their discussion,
Everyone.
That's what I was thinking.
everything. And
Everyone.
since we were denied that, we did not get that, I would think their whole decision would be thrown out or moot, or, no, if they didn't follow procedure?
But it sounds like they may have followed procedure. But
So, well, not by having us not notified or involved, that's not.
we're listed here on the letter as a recipient of it. Wareham Conservation
Christine?
Commission.
Yeah, so what DEP does is when they are requested to take a look at a potential superseding permit, they will send out an email with a date and a time, and they'll send it out to anybody that they need to have at the site. Usually that comes with 28 Nelson Street. That one in particular came to me and Josh. And it should probably go to you guys as well, but I don't think you are on their mailing list. So I'm supposed to be sending those out to you guys, which 0 Maple Springs, I remember we did
We had
go
an
to
on-site,
that. Like,
we had an on-site for that one.
Yes, that one was one of the DEP visits that
remember
the wetlands analyst sent out. 28 Nelson Street, Josh and I were out there with the wetlands analyst and with a couple of the I can't remember if the engineer maybe on
I
the.
just don't remember Nelson Street. We did it for 0 Route 25, those solar fields. We did it for the one off of Carver, 25 Carver, which we approved it. People fought it, and the state approved them, so our approval got denied. And that was an on-site visit, too, so I just don't remember Nelson Street.
But I wonder about this wording, though. I mean, we have a couple of people trained in law school where the environmental protection is requested, the Department of Environment is requested to issue a superseding order. The Conservation Commission shall be a party to all agency proceedings and hearings. It's,
They didn't know how to get in
that,
touch with us?
that
That's like-
doesn't leave any margin for choice, does it, when it says shall?
No margin,
Shall be a party.
not me.
So if we're not there, they can't have their hearing.
I don't think that shall be a party doesn't, to me, compel attendance or participation or even response. It just says you have to be provided with notice.
But
So,
were
like, if
we,
you
were we, with the commission, we were not, I wasn't provided, not to say I would have been, whatever.
No, but it should have
But
gone
we
to
were
Christine.
not provided with it,
It
so
would go
that should
to,
have validate their,
it would go to Christine,
Yeah,
a conservation agent.
yep.
it doesn't say the agent, it says the commission.
But that's how we are provided with notice of anything, is through
Okay.
Christine.
Okay,
You see what you started, Scott?
Well, it highlights
Well,
that's
the
good, it
the
highlights the
point.
way,
All right.
the inadequacies.
Shall we go on to the osprey nest?
I thought that's what we were
Paula
talking
Jean, this
about.
is, no, Paula Jean, you're up.
Okay, so, I'm involved with Wareham Land Trust and involved with people putting up osprey nests if they're blown down or damaged or needed because osprey are building in an inappropriate place. We'll try to get a pole and a nest as near as possible to lure them to use that. And there were two particular nest problems that we've been looking at over the last few weeks. Buzzards Bay Coalition has been involved. Laurie Benson and I from the Land Trust are involved, a bunch of people. I came in and talked to Josh. Christine wasn't in one day. I came looking for Christine, and Josh was here. I talked to him, so I can give you the lowdown on the two different projects. And what the reason I'm bringing it up here is because my understanding, when I was asked to do this, is that we hold the CR on these two properties where the nests are. And we need to give, the Conservation Commission needs to give written permission to have this happen, to let us go in and do the job. The first one is by the end of Lydia's Island Road down by Burgess Point, and there's a dock. It's Buzzards Bay Coalition, and every day the Osprey come in and put some more sticks on, and every day they take them off. The people take them off because Stewart takes them off, who runs the Buzzards Bay Coalition, because they can't have a nest there. And they would love to put a nest up very close by, as close by, or what's going to be appropriate for a location, so that those osprey will go, hey, let's do it there instead. So we need permission, we need written permission from this outfit. I did type up some of the information that they gave me, is small outline, and I gave it to Christine, and Sandy told me when I came in that it didn't open, so I don't know if any of you have read that. One is at Briarwood, and the other one, more immediate problem one, is off of Burgess Point. While we were having some other things going on here, I exported I have Apple products, and so it was in Pages. And I exported it and made a PDF and sent it to Christine a little while ago, so that I thought she could send it to your machines right now, so everybody would have the two descriptions. I think the pictures came through, but they made no sense without the descriptions. You sent them, Christine?
Yeah, I just sent
During the
them.
meeting? Okay.
The one off of Briarwood, the end of Briarwood, you have a piece of land owned by the town that is underneath the power lines. That's the land we're talking about, right?
Correct. And
And the town of Wareham owns the land, and who owns the CR?
I was told that we hold the CR, the Conservation Commission.
We can't own
Had
town,
the
we
or
can't
that
own
we
this-
had jurisdiction over the CR. That's why I had it on the list. That's why we went out and looked at it.
Yeah,
And what it is they were nesting on the power lines. When they put the big ones up, they have inverted, curved, like half of a barrel over them, so to deter the osprey from nesting. But they did put up a wooden pole very nearby, right next to it, and it just needs a nest on top. No problem. John Deacus is, we have several people on board to help financially. We're going to need someone with a cherry picker machine to get up there.
I don't have it yet.
Getting the platform is
Should
not a
come
big
through
problem. But to drive a truck in that little bit so that we have access to the pole, it's gated off. And while it was gated off, invasives have grown up, and a vehicle can't just drive in there. So we would need to go in there and clear out just the width of where the car, the vehicle, the truck could go. And that's what we need permission for, to go in there and cut that.
I've got some climbing spikes that would fit you.
So the land is owned by the town of Wareham, and the town of Wareham holds the CR?
But they said if the Conservation Commission gave a written letter, and it's in the what I sent, so you could read it if you have it. It's real quick. It's like half a page. And if we can say, yes, fine, do it, and we have that in writing, then everyone, all the people doing the grunt work can proceed.
So we're looking for Briarwood.
Yep, the Briarwood is the gated one.
Access through the gate, remove some invasives in order to get a vehicle in there, and to put a platform on top of an existing pole.
Correct.
The pole exists, we're just trying to get a vehicle to move the platform.
How do we approve it? What's the process? Do we just say,
It's a written letter. We needed a letter.
So
saying this permission.
make a motion that we address that Christine Santos writes a letter stating that we approve the access onto the property and the installation of a platform on the existing pole.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That takes care of
One down.
Briarwood.
Great.
The next property, you said it's down Lydia?
It is, I wish we could, you could, did it come up on anyone's screen?
No.
The new one I just did is a PDF?
Can you open it up on your screen, we can look over your shoulder?
Yeah.
Now,
Did send it.
I'm tech challenged, but not that challenged.
is it, wait a minute,
But
Lydia Island, doesn't that go down, that's private property all the way at the end, there's no pier down there.
Buzzards Bay Coalition has the property that it had been John Deacus's. I'm not sure how
Okay,
much
so
John owns.
it's not Lydia Island Road, it's not Lydia Island.
Well, that was how we accessed it. We went down Lydia Island Road. There's one down on the ground where we can move that platform
But this
to the
is-
ones. This is
the pier that you can see from the
Right.
Buzzards Bay bathhouse
across the water.
across the water on John Deacus's property.
Right.
In which the land trust has the CR on it.
Mm-hmm.
But that means
Here.
installing something.
Okay, what it says here. Want me to read it quickly, or do you want to look over my shoulder?
Oh, just read it, please.
Okay, Burgess Point Platform. New pair attempting to build a nest on OBC dock, so a new platform is needed in the vicinity to encourage them to nest there. BBC owns the land and the town holds the CR. CR allows for construction of an osprey platform per Mary Doucette, BBC's conservation monitoring manager. After reviewing the CR for this property, the installation of an osprey pole on the premise is allowed via the following. Paragraph 2A lists one of the purposes of the CR as wildlife habitat protection. Conservation of the conservation restriction area will protect habitat used by a variety of wildlife, including ospreys and shorebirds. Paragraph 3B2, permitted uses, that states, quote, with the prior written permission of grantee, measures designed to restore native biotic communities or to maintain, enhance, or restore wildlife habitat, or rare or endangered species, including selective plantings of native trees, shrubs, and plant species, close quote. Height and location will depend on a few things. The closer to the dock, the likelier they will say, hey, what about that place? The closer to a 360-degree view, the better for spotting individual invading great horned owls or bald eagles. That is achieved by a combination of height above as existing trees are anticipated within the next 15 years, as well as proportion of perimeter that is unforested wetland. If a great horned owl nest is known about, don't choose it, put it nearby. Height of pole will depend on where it is erected in relation to the platform currently on BBC land southeast of the dock. With the purpose of the CR clearly stating ospreys in its purposes, there should be no issue with installing said osprey pole as it is enhancing their habitat by allowing them access to a location where their nest will not be disturbed or removed. However, this is in bold, however, we are required by the CR to receive written approval from the Wareham Conservation Commission before installing the pole. And then there's a map with the marker. You did get that. It just says a dot. It looks like it's out in the water. That was what they sent me.
Yeah, someplace outside of my Wickett's Island.
So in other words, we just need the blessing.
This is bothering me because Lydia Island Road is nowhere near Burgess Point.
It's
You
Burgess
go
Point
down-
Shores.
Burgess Point Shores?
Yeah, Burgess Point. The Burgess Point is further down this way when you're looking at it. It's closer to Burgess Point Shores.
Yeah.
And there's like this one little area.
I'd
It's
love
like
to
a
see it on
point.
a map.
And the map they sent me, well, you saw that.
I saw that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of like directly across from Wickett's.
right. But it's, just, you know, from Great
But it
Neck,
was John
they go
Deacus'
in as almost parallel, and then they branch off those two
John
roads.
Deacus's property is off of Burgess Point.
His house is on Burgess Point,
Yeah.
but he has a lot of,
But
all of
the
that
land
was
in
his.
front of him, which is in front of the six-house development he has, is, I thought we were talking about the pier that's on that.
They didn't specify which dock it's on, but they said it's the Buzzards Bay Coalition's dock.
It's the one that Stuart uses for training and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
Yes, that's the one.
So
It's
why
down
don't
by Clemmy's house.
we ask Christine to write, to draft a letter, and then,
Just give us permission, I mean,
Yeah.
they're gonna do it, we don't even know exactly where, they're
all
gonna
right.
determine an appropriate location. We just have to have the official blessing to do it.
And the location is Burgess Point, what's the word?
Shores.
Shores.
Burgess Point Shores.
Yeah, it's close.
Then we make a motion, we allow for the installation of a Osprey pole and platform in Burgess Point Shores.
And again, quick question here. Before we vote, who's the owner of this property again? Is it the Deacons property or is it another
No.
No,
property?
no, it's a Buzzards Bay Coalition.
Okay, that's fine.
So moved.
That's the motion, and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Christine, you got 2 letters.
Thank you very much.
Anything else on this agenda?
Madam Chair, we have 2 items that we skipped over.
I know I did.
One was the report of the conservation agent. I think she was going to say something about rules and regulations.
They just need to be cleaned up a little bit, and then they will be brought before you within the next couple of weeks.
So I've asked that rules and regulations be added to the agenda under the consent agenda. The consent agenda, we also have, Michael, you're up for reappointment. Are you willing to stay on the Conservation Commission?
Yes.
Will you please ask Michael reappointment on the next 5:20
Yes.
minutes agenda, so I can get it off to the select board?
And then the last thing I have is administrative approvals. Have there been any administrative approvals in the last period since the last meeting? 'Cause we're supposed to be notified in writing about administrative approvals.
Yeah, I didn't know that when I came in here, and Josh never.
I showed you that form this morning.
I only saw the form
Oh,
yesterday.
no, this morning.
No. I mean, but Josh showed me
Oh,
about the administrative approvals that was drafted before I started here yesterday. So yeah, there were a couple of trees that I went down to the Community of Christ campground that I gave Charlotte permission to take down a couple of trees, not more than 4. And I'm trying to think if there was anything else.
So in the future, we'll get written,
In the future, yeah, you'll get a written list of which ones were taken down, probably were on a map.
thank you.
the other thing is that we have minutes from April 30th, 2025. It was for a workshop, so they were pretty bare bones minutes.
Yeah, they didn't have dollar signs in front of the dollar amounts.
You fixed that.
There was one of those things that I said 400. Well, had to have dollar sign. I mean, you and I would not do well as a teacher-student.
Oh, you would come into line very quickly, believe me.
I'm sure. All right, can somebody approve the 4:30:25 set of minutes?
Motion to approve the 4/32/2025 minutes?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
As amended?
As amended, well, you
Yes,
fixed
as-
them.
Yes, I fixed them.
Okay.
Has,
The dollar signs are now
The dollar
there.
signs
Oh,
are
thank
there.
you. Oh, wonderful. Aye.
All right. If anybody else sees anything else on this agenda, hold your peace.
Yes, the adjournment is on the agenda.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Move to adjourn at 8:13 PM.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. Thank you very much, folks. 8:13.